I don't need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it. I 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 need it!
As y'all can see from the look on my face, we had to start this video off with a little bit of laugh. I gotta, have some fun once in a while. But how to help your young franchise quarterback ascend and take that next step, get him a true dominant wide receiver number one, check Trent Baalke. Thank you for acquiring Calvin Ridley. So as you guys are extremely familiar, the Jacksonville Jaguars have traded and acquired wide receiver from the Atlanta Falcons, Calvin Ridley. Now, Calvin Ridley, it stays a 4th round pick that the Jaguars gave up if he just remains on the roster. It goes up to a 3rd round pick with certain contract incentives, and then also it becomes a 2nd round pick if the Jaguars continue to extend Calvin Ridley. Now, this gets a little bit interesting, and I'm going to say for all intents purposes that the Jaguars gave up a 2nd round pick in order to acquire Calvin Ridley. He only has 1 year remaining on his rookie contract when he was drafted in 2018. In 2023, which is next season, he'll have a cap hit of $11.1 million, and in 2024, he'll be an unrestricted free agent. But Calvin Ridley's only 27 years of age. I assume Trent Baalke and the rest of this front office make this move not only to help Trevor Lawrence and this offense take that next step, but also because they are planning on making him a true dominant wide receiver number one and extending him for the future of this team moving forward. But let's actually talk about what Calvin Ridley's done on the field. So since coming into the NFL out of Alabama in 2018, where he was selected 26 overall, Calvin Ridley in his first season in the league, 64 catches, 821 yards, and 10 touchdowns alongside Julio Jones. 2019, a pretty pedestrian year, 63 receptions, 866 yards, and 7 touchdowns. He didn't take that sophomore step up, but in 2020, Calvin Ridley burst out onto the scene in year 3, and this is exactly where he made a name for himself, and that's why the Falcons were able to move on from Julio Jones, because they knew that they had a true dominant specimen of a wide receiver in Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley in 2020, 90 receptions, 1,374 yards, and 9 touchdowns. He asserted himself as one of the best young wide receivers up and coming in the game. And then Calvin Ridley in 2021, he only played 5 games, 31 receptions, 281 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But he ended up stepping away from the game to take care of his mental health, which is something that I absolutely applaud of him. But we all understand that heading into this season, prior to the season, the NFL had actually suspended Calvin Ridley due to that gambling problem or whatever it was. I know it's not an addiction. He said it wasn't an addiction. He said it was $1,500, I believe, that he put on in a game. But long story short, it's the integrity of the game. It's the NFL's rules. Calvin Ridley was suspended for the season. The Jaguars truly went out and got a dominant, physical alpha male of a wide receiver number one who's going to be a vertical threat. This guy can catch the deep ball, and he's going to help alleviate a lot of pressure off of other guys like Christian Kirk, who can really flourish in the slot. You look at guys like Zay Jones, Marvin Jones, who probably won't be here next year, Jamal Agnew, and maybe a handful of other skill position guys that the Jaguars will have on roster next season. That really takes a lot of pressure off of them, and it allows the Jaguars to have that deep threat home run hit ability over the top to really help open up this offense. And while a lot of Jaguar fans who are on the Trevor Lawrence hate train might say Calvin Ridley or any wide receiver doesn't help fix a lot of quarterbacks' accuracy issues, which Trevor Lawrence isn't perfect, but nonetheless, this is going to help Trevor Lawrence flourish, and having that dominant physical wide receiver number one, I think, is going to be tremendous for Trevor Lawrence's growth, and I am super excited to see what Calvin Ridley does for this season, because look at all these other franchises across the league that have young ascending quarterbacks. Look at what the key common factor is. They go and get a dominant wide receiver number one, or they get a bunch of great skill position players to put around their young quarterbacks. Look at Josh Allen heading into his 3rd season. The Buffalo Bills acquired Stephon Diggs, and he had like 12 touchdowns, I believe, 1,400 yards that season. I could be wrong, but he was all pro, and Stephon Diggs took Josh Allen to that next level. Look at Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow in the Cincinnati Bengals. Look at the Miami Dolphins and what they did for Tua Tagovailoa, acquiring Tyreek Hill from the Kansas City Chiefs and drafting Jalen Waddle. You look all across the league. Franchises are trying to help their young quarterback by getting dominant wide receivers, and the Jaguars are doing that with Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley, welcome to Jacksonville. And also, I do want to say disclaimer before I end this video is that one, this is the second time I'm making this video because I got so excited the first time that I completely forgot to plug the mic in. So, you know, that's on me for just getting too excited. And secondly, I do apologize if I've been a little bit late, you know, to covering some Jags topics, some, you know, recaps, previews, you know, even the James Robinson trade I didn't address, but I'm just extremely busy with life, you know, UCF, college, you know, I'm really trying to balance and juggle things out. So thank you guys for being patient with me. Thank you guys for consistently supporting me. And I just have all the gratitude in the world, man. Thank you guys for everything. But Jaguar fans, NFL fans, Falcons fans, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As y'all can see, I'm clearly excited about this trade, and I think a lot of Jaguar fans are for this trade. But if you guys enjoyed today's video, man, make sure you guys drop me a thumbs up. It takes 1 second and it helps me in the channel out tremendously. And if you guys are new here, consider hitting that subscribe bell to stay tuned for more NBA, UCF, and of course, Jaguars content that I do here on YouTube. And make sure y'all go follow me on my socials, especially on Twitter. I'm very active and I'm on there every single day. The link tree will be in the description down below, so y'all can go check that out. But thanks again for sticking around throughout the whole video. Brett James, AKA BJ, I'm out, y'all. Go Jags, baby. Peace.